Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to your second game of this best out of three. It's the opening day of the G League Season 2, the final of 2012, Season 2 of this year. And it's For.Love jumping out to a quick 1-0 lead versus Team DK, who had to have been the heavy favorites coming into this match. Of course, any team with Burning is generally going to have the crowd support anyway. But For.Love actually took that game one. You're watching Beyond the Summit's coverage of the G League, brought to you by GameFi. I'm LD, and I'm joined here today by none other than Statsman Bruno of Dota-Academy.com.
Hey, LD. You have to feel really, really good when you see the opponent team banning the two heroes that you picked the last game. Because, I mean, you normally ban some things that you don't want to play against, but when they ban a Bad Rider and a Brewmaster, which were the key two heroes, with those Blink Daggers annoying them so much, you have to feel good. It says, well, now they've thrown their bans into things that they don't want us to play, not just good heroes. They get the Templar Assassin and the Nyx Assassin as well. So this is an assassin team.
Just need that Phantom Assassin and the Stealth Assassin, and then you'll have the quickest loss you've ever seen. But it'll have a theme to it. You'll lose with style. DK first picking the Lone Druid. I gotta say, Bruno, color me not surprised, because we saw just how strong that hero is in the current patch. But For.Love do get their hands on the Nyx Assassin, and as far as supports go, this is one of the best to punish a hero like Lone Druid. Even in the mid game, although he's pretty tanky, you can often find those pickoffs with Vendetta. It also puts attacks on the supports, and Lone Druid not going to offer those supports as much assistance as other solos and farmers might early on in the game. So, what are we going to see the rest of the way for DK? What are they going to think about here?
Well, I mean, they did exactly the opposite that they did last time. Last time they left Burning's pick for the last pick, but now Burning will be playing that Lone Druid for sure. There's no one else that will. There's no super solo mid Lone Druid or anything like that. On the other hand, I mean, Templar Assassin, without that Bad Rider, it's really hard laning against her mid right now. I mean, yeah, she got a slight nerf with that refraction at 100 mana instead of 75, but still, I mean, it's not a huge change for the hero. You'll still get those refractions out, and as long as you get those rooms or the Bottle Crow, you will get enough mana to do whatever you want. And that Nyx Assassin, you know the crazy thing about that hero? I mean, even crazier than the Vendetta and the whatever, I mean, the Impales, the Mana Burn, he has 2 HP regen per second base regen. I mean, there's no other hero, not even Act, has that much base HP regen per second. It's crazy. On a support hero, of all things, it's not like he tanks or he does something like he jungles or anything. 2 HP regen per second, that's Simba.
And it's actually such a sort of poorly understood and not really obvious stat that it's not even something you can see in the Dota 2 stats by mousing over the hero or anything like that. So it's something you just have to know from the patch notes. And he's a melee hero. He's going to be in the middle of the fights. He's a support, so he's going to be naturally a little bit lower HP and under-leveled. And thus, having that extra regen may just make the difference, help to keep you alive. Rubik and Beastmaster. I particularly love the Beastmaster pick here. Of course, they get dies, Rubik. And the one thing that I'm curious about, is this going to be a super solo mid Beastmaster like what we've seen out of Shao 8? Or is it something RTK will take towards the off lane? And For.Love, they smell 5-man coming at some point around that 20 to 30 minute mark. They're going to pick one of the best supports to counter it. It's the Keeper of the Light.
Well, I'm inclined to believe that Beastmaster is going to go mid. Because if it was on the Dire side, I might consider an off lane with the pulling of the Ancients. I mean, you can do that in the Radiant side as well, but you have to do a big turnaround to actually get those to that and farm when you get your Soul Ring. While as when playing Dire, it's much easier. You just go there missing a creeper and then you come back to lane 3 or 4 levels higher than you left. But yeah, I mean, you get, on the other hand, Beastmaster going against the Templar Assassin. Well, if that Lone Druid versus Night Stalker matchup was kind of hard, now TA versus Beastmaster is going to be tough, and you'll have to go for that boar.
I'm not so sure you do, to be honest, because he'll probably have some supports coming in when Tia gets close to level 6. You can axe spam early on and just push the wave with Inner Beast. Your creeps are attacking faster. They're going to chew through refraction charges if TA comes in. Eddie's naturally tanky, so I don't think we're going to see the boar build. The other reason is it's really important to control runes versus TA, and the Inner Beast build is going to be better against her. But you're right. I mean, the boar is one of your tools in your arsenal to try to deal with TA, but it comes with the trade-off of it slows down your push, and DK are a lineup right now that are going to want to do some pushing, especially around that like 10 to 15 minute mark once the Beastmasters roar. I'm interested to see where the Beastmaster will be, though, because it is still possible he could go to the off lane, and it's just it's not as good on the Radiant side. You can't stack the Ancients as easily. So I think it'll be solo mid, but we haven't seen DK play this here in a while. You'll never know till we do. And once again, we're seeing hard carries banned out. We saw this last game, but this time it's DK banning them out, getting rid of a lot of heroes that I guess Tutu would play.
Yeah, we see Phantom Lancer. Faceless Voice is really nice. Actually, the Phantom Lancer is a pick that really surprises me. I mean, he has crazy agility growth right now. And I mean, once you get to level 16, he hits like a madman. But then again, there are other carries as well still in the pool. People seems to have forgotten about Sven. There's the Darkseer. I mean, Darkseer hasn't been picked. Oh yeah, they banned that. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they could have picked Darkseer and go with something like Darkseer and Sven or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it feels a little gimmicky though. And Beastmaster is and Blown Druid. These are two of the best heroes in the game to deal with the farm Sven. Entangle as well as Roar. Even if you get that BKB, it's not going to matter. And also just being very naturally tanky. So I don't really think Sven works against this DK lineup. It's something that did work really well, for a time, and it still has its place, especially I think as a support, but as a carry, unless all the heroes that really counter him are banned out, he just doesn't fit. And Bounty Hunter, the final ban, For.Love, banning out what looks to be 3 offlaners. DK snatch up the Shadow Demon as well. And it's a single target lineup. The team that gets Shadow Demon versus single target lineups is normally the happy team. And then they follow up with a Prophet.
That Prophet probably going to the jungle or the offlane. I mean, they weren't really scared of actually going to the jungle with that Bad Rider when I was hoping he was going mid. So they might go for that. That was what gave them the advantage. I mean, they were trading even in the mid lane. They were winning one lane and losing the other. But that Bad Rider got so many creep kills and gold. So maybe this time it will be a Nature's Prophet, but rather maybe forfeiting that offlane, or maybe he just will conventionally go to that offlane and pull with his trends. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Keeper of the Light can solo that offlane. They could offensive trial with Nyx, Keeper of the Light +1, run a Prophet. Maybe solo mid, maybe solo the safe lane. You're going to give up more to the Beastmaster if you do that, and we'll have to see. Night Stalker, the final pick. It's a role reversal. It's a bit of a swap. The one thing I'll say is the Prophet does, and it's a banana Prophet. Oh yeah, this is one of his signature heroes, and we saw him playing that hard support role. But I mean, just already showcasing his versatility, and we're just getting underway with this with For.Love's run in the G League.
Yep, and it seems that it's going to be an offlane Beastmaster after all, because I don't think any of the other heroes. Well, you can actually go Lone Druid and go with the Trilane with Rubik's Shadow, Demon Leshrac. It's hard. DK can do lots of things right now, while on the other hand,
the problem with that tri-lane is they don't have much damage. They have Lift and Disruption. These are both setup abilities. Fadebolt doesn't really do much damage at the early levels, so... And it's a super Leshrac. So yeah, that pretty much answers the question. It looks like it's going to be a solo mid Leshrac. Something we don't see much of nowadays.
No, but sometimes we do see Shadow Demon and Leshrac. I mean, Shadow Demon rotating between the safe lane and the mid lane, but pretty much roaming. That can work as well, because remember, Disruption is such a good setup. When you disrupt a hero, you're ensured that that Split Earth will always hit. And if you have 1 point on the Diabolic Edict, you can run back to your tower. It's 800 range, but Edict does so much damage. And if you get a Soul Catch on top of that, well, it's going to be hard, especially if you are a Templar Assassin, which your refraction charges will disappear in a second.
Yeah, and guys, it looks like there has been a pause, so we'll look at the Chinese streams, just see the players, sort of strategizing. The Chinese stream, I gotta say, the production quality for G League has been sensational, and well, it's time to get back in the game, because the game is now underway again. So we had a pause, we do resume, and Super headed to that bottom lane, and oh boy. That's why I'm lagging. Yeah, gotta remember to pause the stream after that. So, let's quickly introduce the players. Safe lane, Lone Druid. Burning gonna be playing that. Burning Lone Druid, such a classic. RTK as the Beastmaster. Most likely we'll see him in the off lane. Unless they abandon that suicide lane, which is something they could do. Beastmaster's decent at doing some pulls and jungle stacking. Super as the Leshrac. Is probably going to be rushing the bottle, saving 200 gold. QQQ on that support Shadow Demon. Sentry's picked up, and DK, it looks like they're just really focused on playing defensively. Exactly what we saw to For.Love last game. Even more so, perhaps, if they look to abandon that suicide lane. Last but not least, we have Dai. Once again, reprising his role on the Rubik. There's not too much to steal this game. I think the main spells are just going to be, Illuminate as well as Impale. So not really the best game to be a hero on Rubik, but it's still a good pick.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other hand, we have Tutu on the mid lane with Templar Assassin. The tri lane will be composed of 8K as the main carry with the Night Stalker. Next to him, we'll have Hansi on the support, Nyx Assassin. And the Kodal will be Yu, the one with the Chinese character is actually Yu. Finally, in the offlane, we had Banana, Biu with a pretty nice staff, going for that pulling with those trends on that Nature's Prophet.
I think this guy's played some Super Mario. This is some flower power type stuff. It looks like he's trying to do. This is I love this. We're seeing this all the time.
Yeah, look mid.
Yeah, dual laning mid. This is a devastating combo. Oh, this is something that could cause a lot of trouble. Not at level 1, but once Edict is there and Soul Catcher are there, they can kill off Tutu. He's not going to get anything mid. They abandoned that suicide lane, so they're not going to be able to kill anybody in that lane for For.Love, but they can do a lot of stacking and pulling. This is smart. If TA gets shut down early, she's not going to do much in the mid game, and in fact, they may... No, disruption on cooldown. Otherwise, could have gotten the first blood there. Oh boy, I love the way DK are laning this. This is so smart.
Yep. And without a salve, without anything, just tangos. She can't regen life fast enough. I don't know why she isn't eating any tango at all. She just sold something?
Looks like we do have another pause, but it looks like it should be a quick resume.
I
No,
don't know.
maybe not.
If you're looking at the Templar Assassin, there's a plus 100 next to her because she bought a salve and immediately sold. It's like, well, I need regen to be in this lane, and then look at that and says, no, maybe I can survive with just my tangos.
She's not surviving with just her tangos. That's not happening against this combo, so we'll see.
Yeah, and 2 disconnect from the mid lane. QQQ and Super disconnect for a little while. We'll see what happens with that. The good thing about this is For.Love will get lots of farm on those supports. I mean, you know how Keeper of the Light can kind of jungle in a way. I mean, not in the standard way of farming, but you can just spam your Illuminate and kill creeps and stack and creep kills, kill creeps. While Night Stalker not the best of carries, but I mean, he'll always be happy to have a safe lane.
I agree with you. My one problem with that is I don't know that it's worth the trade because you're not getting anything on TA, who needs to have a good start to have an impact later on. She's not going to be useful against 5-man group up and push, which is what DK have, unless you get some early levels in farm. So I don't think it's a good trade unless, and this is the only thing that really could make it a decent trade-off for For.Love, is if the Nyx Assassin can get a quick level 6 and start finding some kills. It's a dual lane mid, so DK will be a bit under-leveled on these heroes. And especially the Leshrac, and he is rather squishy, so that's sort of the one X factor. Nyx Assassin and Night Stalker, if they get a lot of levels, I would love to see the Nyx being given most of the pull experience, but if that doesn't happen, I think this is something that hugely favors DK.
Yep, and I mean, as we look at the lanes now, of course, the game just started, we can't say anything, but that Nature's Prophet will probably lose the game against it. Lone Druid with a Rubik going next to him. TA, there's nothing they can do about that mid lane. Yeah, you're winning top lane, but then again, this is the situation that DK was in the last game. They were happy because the Juggernaut was getting some farm, but they were losing out the other 2 lanes, and as we saw, that didn't work so well for them.
It's the same situation on so many levels, too, because, you know, it's a lineup that doesn't have the better late game. It's a lineup that, yes, they're getting free farm, but it's on a hero that's, you know, a mid-game dominator in the Night Stalker. Still something that could be scary for DK. But again, I feel like it's just got to be the Nyx Assassin Night Stalker having a big impact mid lane. This could be our first blood, but 2-2 runs south and dodges the Split Earth. And there was a point in Edict with Soul Catcher that will kill you very quickly. Haystorm bot picked up by the Nyx Assassin, then heads back top. Beastmaster not even in that top lane. He's doing some farming of the mid camp, the safe camp for the moment. And Burning's getting pretty much free farm, but actually being outlast hit by the Night Stalker.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Night Stalker has no one in his lane.
Yes.
It's just like, you're in practice mode right now, playing against passive bots, last hitting everything that you want.
But it's Burning, man. He missed a couple last hits last game, too. It's, you know, we expect perfection from this guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, otherwise we'll remove your name from that animage. You heard that?
And that's a threat coming from the frog himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's another pause. Okay, lots of things going on this game. Hauka. Of course, Hauka.
Well, another pause. There's just a very... There's no fluidity to this game. Just constantly, you know, the rhythm of the players being disrupted a bit. We'll have to see if they cut to the cameras, but a 3-4 minute disconnect, 1,000 ping. I believe we're playing on Singapore, and
Yep. But I just checked the pings. The pings were all right. It must have been a spike. I mean, I can't say anything. I'm looking at this with 500 ping, but I'm not playing, so it's okay.
yeah, the pause continues. Of course, guys, this is a best out of 3. This is your first group stage match. A quick look at the brackets while we wait for the game to resume. Tomorrow's matchup, Bruno, I think this might be, well, it's a rematch of the GEST Challenge Finals. This time, though, it's happening in studio at GameFi, and it's going to be LGD China versus LGD International. Somebody from LGD is going to die.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, again, we joked about the LAN finals in GST because even though it was an online tournament, both teams were in the same room. There was a whiteboard between them so that they couldn't peek at each other's computers. But, I mean, then again, another LAN, this time not a final, but I mean, these guys probably scream with each other at least 2 or 3 times a day, every single day. So they have to know each other very well. And when two teams know each other really well, they can prepare, and those are the best matches for me.
Yeah, they're pretty exciting. And I, like you said, you know, the teams, it's not a normal, it's not like a major LAN event where, you know, everything just gets grinded out over the course of a couple days. Like you look at the Asia, you look at even the International too, where you're just massing games in the group stages. This is much more like GSL and StarCraft, if you follow that, where, you know, or even professional sports like football, American football, where you get so much time to prepare for your opponents. So it really does favor those teams that benefit most from studying their opponents carefully, from watching replays, from, you know, coming up with pocket strategies. And we haven't seen too much of it yet, but this is only day 1. And, you know, with all the recent patches and not that many Chinese games happening since G1, I think it's, you know, it's something we'll see a lot more of interesting of evolution of the game over the next couple of weeks during the G League.
Yep. Apparently, Hauka means it's very laggy. That's what they were saying. I mean, of course, after that they said lag 1,000, but I wanted to check, and some of the streams said Hauka means it's very laggy. Now we learn a bit more of Chinese every single day. By the end of the tournament, we'll be proficient, right? Right?
I don't know about that. One can hope. One can definitely hope. I'm not that good at learning languages to begin with. I took French in school, and my parents were like, "You should have taken Chinese. You should have taken Spanish. Something useful." I said,
"Well, you can go
Mom.
to Paris right now and ask directions for the Eiffel Tower." So
I actually don't even remember how to do that. Sadly, my brain is like a sieve. If I don't use something, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, thankfully the game is going to resume because otherwise we were running out of topics to just ramble about what this game is starting.
I can go all day. The viewers may not find it as interesting, but try me, Bruno. What kind of toothpaste do you use? All right.
All right. Yeah.
Actually,
the one that's white.
I gotta ask you, how do you get your toothpaste out of the tube? Because this girl I'm seeing now, she's like very meticulous about it. She like carefully rolls the bottom up. I just like grab it in my hand and just squeeze it from the paw.
No. You don't do that, because if you do that, then you get residue at the bottom of the tube, and when it's almost over, you have to start rolling. And if you just roll it small, I mean, just bit by bit, like she does, at the end of the tube, I mean, when it's almost over, you make the same effort as the beginning. On the other hand, you have to do lots of effort, and you don't want to do effort when you want to brush your teeth.
Yeah,
because
she gets so mad too. It like drives her insane. So that's half the reason I do it. But Bruno, I mean, see, this is what I'm talking about. These are the kinds of lessons we can deliver when there are prolonged pauses. How to be a better toothpaste consumer. Only here on Beyond the Summit. Only here when Bruno is in attendance. And well, what other topics can we discuss?
Okay, when you have something that I'm paused. Thank God.
I was loving that, man.
I was enjoying it as well, but I mean, I was going to ask something really silly, so I'll leave it for later.
Yeah, it was probably inappropriate too. Knowing you. Disruption on the mid lane and the Soul Catcher. Here comes the Split Earth. Once again, they're running the other way to dodge these Split Earths, but it might cause their deaths anyway. Yu gets picked off. 2-2 giving chase, but only a level 3 TA with no items. And now, double kill. Here comes the counter gank from the Prophet. The damage already done. Double kill on Super. Already level 4. Has the bottle. The boots coming out soon. And I mean, really, what a crazy bit of action after that on pause.
Yeah, QQQ already level 4 as well. Again, a very, very high level Shadow Demon makes things really hard, because when you get that level 4 Soul Catcher, everything deals so much damage. Even if you're right-clicking as a support, that, I don't know, the Shadow Demon deals 66 damage, which is actually plenty. But with level 4 Soul Catcher, each of your right-clicks deal 100 damage, and that hurts.
You know, it's really, this is a big reason why we're seeing these, single-target ganking style heroes who aren't that strong against, bigger group ups, just aren't as effective right now. It's, one of the reasons is there aren't as many bans available. So a support like Shadow Demon, you can't really ban him, but if you don't ban him and you pick a TA, well, I mean, even if the TA is a better time in the lane, Shadow Demon's still going to be annoying to deal with later on, so, it's just the echoes of the changes to the banning and drafting of Dota 2 having a huge impact. Middle lane, thinking about going again. 2-2 taking a lot of damage. Illuminate is here, and you will be able to drive them back, at least for the moment. Top lane as well. Another dive. Constant aggression. RTK trying to run away. Is trying to kill off a creep wave here in order for that tower to focus the heroes down. A smart reaction from him, but it doesn't seem to be enough. And that tower really not cooperating. Only throws a few shots at Hansi.
That was really tough. I was going to wonder what Hansi was doing there, because Beastmaster was not in the lane at all until recently. I was saying, well, maybe he should go and help some other lane, but Beastmaster suddenly appears there, and he just appears when there's probably 8 or 9 creeps next to the tower.
Again with the aggression mid, 2-2's dropping low. But this adjustment, moving the Keeper of the Light in mid, has really helped them to stabilize. At least they're not giving up kills anymore, and Super's taking a lot of harassment. In spite of that, though, Burning is just getting absolute free farm on that bottom lane. He's now our top farmer, 1 CS ahead of the Night Stalker. And Night Stalker with phase boots up, he is pretty highly leveled. I also want to point out, Nyx is doing a lot of pulling. He's got his boots, and it's up to these two. Come mid-game, Nyx Assassin, Night Stalker, that first nighttime, going to be ever so important, because Burning is going to have his relic by the time the second nighttime rolls around.
Yep, and I mean, Nature's Prophet is trying to pull the creeps, but he's not really achieving anything. He just tried to pull the whole creep way, and maybe he's going to pull the range. No, he doesn't. That's so bad for him. Must feel really sad. Yeah. It's very unleveled now, and I mean, not much farm at all. Just 8 creeps. Must feel good to be that lone druid now.
Yeah, it must feel good to have your lane entirely empty as well. I mean, sure, we've occasionally seen the Prophet get bold and walk towards the lane, but he can't really do too much. And top lane Haystern picked up by 2-2, and then just runs away level 4 TA as solo mid. Even if he's not dying, it's Keeper of the Light stealing his experience. It is the first night. The push will begin top, and DK, they may just be content to give this one up. Look for a trade, push either that mid lane or the safe lane. They'll have to look for it later though, because we have yet another pause.
Another pause. Okay.
All right, so we've covered toothpaste micro.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Now, you have a food in front of you. You have something in your plate, and there's a part that you like and a part that you don't like. You start by the part that you like or the part that you don't like.
Well, why do you have to eat the part that you don't like?
Well, you have to eat because you're hungry.
And you say,
or maybe your mother is there or someone's.
All right. See, well, just. It's like, have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode? Jerry talking about a Band-Aid? Do it in one smooth motion. Right off! And, of course, he's talking about how to end a relationship. Just, end it quickly. And remove the pain. Mid lane, they go in. On the hasted TA. The Split Earth is there. The Edict Soul Catcher damage. They get the kill. Even hasted. 2-2 overextends. In comes the counter gank. Middle lane. Prophet is here as well. Super with the Split Earth. For.Love are really good at dodging those, I gotta say. But Banana TP's in with really no mana to accomplish anything. They did get the tier 1 top while this was happening, but yet another death for the TA, and the Prophet not getting a whole lot. So much on the Night Stalker as well as the Nyx Assassin shoulders right now.
At this point, the Nature's Prophet is level 4. I mean, you just have to give up that bottom lane. Maybe put someone else there. I mean, a support, Keeper of the Light, so that the lone druid doesn't push your tower, and go farm the jungle, do anything, because you're not accomplishing anything right now, and it must be very frustrating.
It is, and is it really worth it to trade farm versus a lone druid when you don't have a hard carry, you don't have a void, an anti-mage, you don't even have, a strong pusher. The Night Stalker, it's now that first nighttime. He is on the hunt, but all he does is come top lane and show his face. And Beastmaster is not an easy tier to tower dive. Plus, if you dive him, Shadow Demon can easily counter gank, and notice how he has a TP scroll. We're going to see the Shadow Demon always have one. Vitality booster up on the Night Stalker, now rotating mid. And they got to make some kills happen here. I think if they mess up a couple of these ganks, it's just going to be so hard to find any momentum. Burning's up to 1,900 gold.
Yes, and that will be an equally fast Radiance as we saw last game from For.Love. And again, I mean, as you say, you have to make something happen, and you have to make something happen in the mid lane, because you're not going to kill that Lone Druid now, and unless you invest 4 or 5 heroes to do so. That Beastmaster, even if you kill that, you're not accomplishing anything. I mean, the problem right now is that you need to create some space for that TA to do anything, because I think she's not even level 6 yet.
She doesn't have boots. She's not level 6. And it's a pick that doesn't really work right now most of the time in the laning phase with what teams are doing. Top lane rather. Towards the top shop, I should say. In comes the Invis Nyx Assassin. This is the opening For.Love wanted, I think. Is there a Spike Carapace? There is, not using it yet. That was some pretty good burst. In comes 2-2. They're finding the kill. No, Hansi chasing forward onto Dai. Dai actually, whoa, pulling Hansi towards himself.
Yes.
That had to have been a misclick. And he's going to pay for that. Executed and brought down. DK, it's that early level 6 on Nyx Assassin. They just weren't ready for it.
Yep, and they're quickly going to defend the bottom tower. It's really important for that Lone Druid not to get that free tower, because once he gets tier 1, he can get tier 2 really easy. So, I mean, great play from For.Love there. Great initiation, some weird decision from MMYX there. But, I mean, maybe he thought that they were faster than they were, and by throwing it forward, he was stunned them. But everyone just waited. Said, well, what are you going to do with that Leaf friend right there? Oh, you're dropping him? Well, now we kill you.
He may have died anyway. It was 4 heroes just chasing him, hunting him to the ends of the earth. And that was such an important fight. I mean, the gold graph, you guys just saw it. It completely turned on its head. For.Love, this is something they have to continue, though. It's not enough just to get a couple kills, and that's exactly what we see them doing. Vendetta, Nyx Assassin leading the charge. Lone Druid, not an easy hero to gank. Burning tries to run, but will it be in time? He really needs an entangle here. He really needs some backup. Here comes the cavalry. Will they be sufficient? The entangle is there with 34 HP, and now the turnaround, the counter gank. It's QQQ with the Soul Catcher, bringing him down. What a time for Burning to live. And now he even goes back into hero form. Tranquil boots up, and he's going to get so much HP, already back to over half health. Wow. Dem counter ganks and Dem entangles. So far, it's been the story of not only this game, but also game number 1.
Bernie has to be saying, yeah, you remember when you entangled me while I was Juggernaut last game? Ha, take that now.
Take that indeed. Hansi probably going to take a punch to the mouth here. He's surrounded and will be brought down rather easily. They are trying to trade with the Prophet. It looks like Banana is going to get something out. He's got a Midas. And I like this because they can't deal with the 5-man right now. They've got to angle for some late game. TA's not getting anything. Night Stalker, we've seen him getting picked off, so even though he's gotten some kills, they got to get someone big. They've got to find an opportunity for global pickoffs, but it's still playing into DK's hands. This Prophet with the Midas, he's not going to be as useful here when they're looking to push those tier 1s. And they smoke up and, just going right back into the lane.
Yep. Tutu seems like he's going into a world of trouble right now. I mean, if Shadow Demon can get there, or Rubik, any of those, they can just get there and leave him. She's dead. There's nothing you can do to save her.
2-2, scouting things out, sitting really far back. Only level 6. It's actually a great time to check levels. He's behind his own supports. He's behind that dual lane mid with Shrek. They do have Keeper of the Light. DK will take one Illuminate. Maybe force back for the moment. They are lacking that mech. That's one thing they don't have. The offlane Beastmaster opted for Arcane Boots and Bottle, but we'll probably see RTK going for it now. And it's not that DK really have to push now. It's not like there's a later timing where they're just going to flat out lose to For.Love. So I think they're okay with this, but it is going to force them back for the moment. Here comes the big initiation. Where are the Sentry Wards for DK? They haven't had them before. They won't have them now. Illuminate comes in. What an incredible team fight initiation for For.Love. It's Hansi leading the charge. Super blocking away the Nyx Assassin. Buyback from Dai. Throwing the TA into the tower. Now 2-2. Trying to 2-2 his way out of there. And the Bear getting ganked. Buyback from Shadow Demon. Double buybacks from DK. For.Love strike, and then they look to get out of here. Some huge kills, and what really amplifies the damage is that Bernie wasn't far beaten. He says, okay, I'm going to get away from this bottom lane. Apparently it's cursed. I'm going to go farm top.
Definitely. I mean, they didn't lose anyone there. For.Love seems to be taking the smart engagement here. Again, Leshrac missing his split earth, and it was not its fault. It's like For.Love knows when that animation is coming, and they know how to move right or left. And look at that top tier 2 tower from the Radiant. I mean, it's a third HP, and that was because, well, that fight was happening. Fury was easily pushing top. And, I mean, they're doing things. It's all about taking the right decisions. And For.Love, even though they started off in a not so good way, they're making the right decisions right now.
Comes the tower dive, 2-2. Really aggressive from him. They do have the Night Stalker on the back lines. He's got a Vanguard. He wants them to focus him. He's really tanky, and now he gives chase. One more Void. I think Super dies to that. There you... Nope. Void's QQQ wants to get an extra hero as a part of this engagement. Thinks he can. QQQ's low. QQQ will fall. No, doesn't go for him in the end. Just worried about that defensive disruption, it looks like. And they get a couple kills. Beastmaster dies as well. Bernie is farming, though.
Beastmaster TP'd to the tier 1 towers, trying to ambush from behind, but I mean, Furion TP'd just straight away and just did some work. And sometimes it happens, you get blind because you're looking at the action and you don't look at your own hero. When Beastmaster got there and roared, he had 50 HP.
Yeah,
and he died probably after.
We're really seeing why Xiao8 says that Nyx Assassin is just a must-pick, must-ban right now. God, Hansi has had such a good impact on this game. That first Vendetta gank, that's when things start to turn around, and he's kept it up since then. And DK, you really gotta, question why they don't have sentry wards down. They did start to put the sentries down, but the damage to some extent was already done. The good news, though, is Bernie is still farming. Has he actually died yet this game? I don't think he has. Yeah, he's 0-0-2. He's got the Relic up. The Radiance is coming soon. The one issue for me is, sure, Bernie might be tanky, he might have the Radiance, but the supports, because they've been so defensive over the past 5 minutes, they're not farming. They're not really doing as much as they would like. Super has the Ogre Club, but, not really getting as much as he would like either. And you see For.Love starting to exploit this, starting to spread the map, starting to play more of their style, and going for those aggressive mid-game items, like the Vanguard and the Night Stalker.
Yep, I mean, they're playing to their strength. They're not going to outcarry that Laundry, so why not make an impact before he can go online? Because even when he gets that Radiance, and this is something that's really neat from Nyx Assassin, when you get a Radiance on that Laundry, you just have to pull the E button and go Spike Carapace, and that bear will be stunned for 2.2 seconds, just because the Radiance will deal the damage.
Yeah, it's just another way to kind of deal with that Panda. And they also have the Keeper of the Light, Blinding Light, which I believe does affect the bear as well. So, it's another way to slow down the aggression. They also have the Night Stalker Sun, so they have some ways to deal with the bear. And as long as the rest of the team can't do too much, they're not in terrible shape. They are ahead by quite a bit. Banana has been spotted out by this Observer Ward, but here comes the backup. The Nyx Assassin is here, and it's just RTK trying to be a hero by himself. Sometimes he is known to overextend and play a little bit too aggressively, and, well, it looks like he will back off wisely.
Yep, there was a bit of lack of communication. I mean, Nyx Assassin was going there and was telling the Furion, go on him, we can kill him between the two of us. Furion didn't want to know anything about it, and he probably suspected there was a sentry ward. It was like, no, let's not try it, man. Let's just play it cool. I'll keep on farming. I'll go farm the Ancients. You just wasted your Vendetta, but it's alright. You'll have next chance.
It's alright. It's okay. And they have the Arcane Boots up. They're getting a lot of farm. The mechanism complete on the Keeper. The one nice thing about him is he can get that early mech out, and it's something DK don't have yet. The Offlane Beastmaster hasn't picked one up. They're behind when it comes to towers, having lost all of their outer towers and still the safe lane tier 1 standing. And of course, there is the dire advantage for For.Love. I am really curious what Banana's going for. Gotta assume it's that... No, it's a Necro 3. There you go. I like this. It's all about that split push for them, and it's going to help them to D-ward, and that's something they want to do. They want to keep the map control in their favor, having the Nyx Assassin on their team.
Yeah, but speaking of map control, I mean, this is a great time to just place a war in the hill right next to, around here, and try to go Roche. I mean, they can kill him really fast with the Furion Trends and the Armor Meld, so if they get that, they can try and engage, push more towers. Once you get rid of that tier 2, you put DK into a corner. Burning will keep farming, yeah, but you have to. It comes to the point where you have to actually make something happen with your farm.
He does have his Radiance out, so Radiance completed Burning 17 minutes in, and you see the other benefit to that aggression. When they got aggressive, it was in Burning's lane, even though he's hard to kill, because it means that Burning's not farming. Even if you don't kill him, he's not getting farmed during that time, and for Burning, 17 minutes is bordering on a late Radiance.
Yep, but it's okay. I mean,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. 20 minutes would be bad, but I mean, 17 minutes is fine, and now he'll be able to push faster. And let's see how For.Love reacts to it, because they have to know by now that he has a radar. You just have to look at him because the bear is right there pushing. So you have to say, what do we do now? I mean, he's pushing. Do we give that top lane, which he seems not to be?
The Bash Bros in action again. Hansi and 8K attached at the hip. These two have had such a big impact, and they want some more. TA's here. Blink Dagger up. QQQ. For.Love is dissecting DK right now, and DK just doesn't seem to have an answer.
I'm really surprised, actually. I didn't expect For.Love to be this good because, I mean, let's grant it here. For.Love is playing really well. It's not DK making mistakes. I mean, they made a few, but it's not, well, DK is just throwing this game. For.Love are playing really well. From the small details like choosing the right heroes or the right items, to the things like dodging the split, are picking their fights and going for the heroes they can kill and capitalizing on that.
Yeah, exactly what you mentioned. I mean, the Vanguard on Night Stalker, often we see the BKB rush, but it was even the early Vitality booster, and then the way they played with you saw AK in that earlier fight bottom, he wanted them to focus him, he ran right into 3 heroes, and they obliged, and that allowed the squishier supports to come in for the backlines and clean things up. Things like prioritizing the Nyx Assassin getting level 6, and then as soon as he had it, immediately on the aggressive. Don't even think about farming up any more items, don't even wait a second. They were in a bad spot for a moment there. You look at the goal graph, and it was even, but it was even with Burning getting pretty much free farm, and with their TA being shut down, which was something that was gonna lose For.Love the game if it kept up that way for too long, but they've made the adjustments. DK, not in the best position right now. They do have the better 5-man, I would say, despite being behind by quite a bit. If they can get equalize a little bit, stabilize here, they'll be in a decent spot. As soon as For.Love sees Heroes top, they go right into the Roche pit, and I think they have the damage to bring this down with the TA meld and the Treants, but they might give up 2 towers to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they invested so much in getting that tier 1 tower. They were sure that they were going to contest. Now they have to realize that if they're not contesting the tier 2, they have to be at Roche speed. But then again, what can you do? You're really far away. You have to go all the way through here. And that Roche is almost there. I mean, it's half health now. And with the minus armor from Meld, he will fall really fast.
Yeah, Roche is dying. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Light doing what he does, which is to just make everybody very sad if they ever enter a lane and try to push a tower. Roshan dropping, and I think this is a great trade. They give up a tier 1, they get the Aegis, and they're a lineup that's all about momentum, all about aggression. This is going to fuel it. This is going to let them keep it up. And BKB coming soon on 8K. And one thing that one thing they do have is counters for that BKB. They've got the Demonic Purge, they've got the Roar, but forcing them to use that on Night Stalker is exactly what they want, because then they're not roaring the squishier supports, they're not roaring the TA, who after a horrendous start, 2-2, is clawing his way back into this game. He's the 3rd highest farmer, and it's largely because his team has been making up for it. DK focused on shutting down 2-2, and the team has been punishing that.
Yep, I mean, we still have in the first position Burning, doing what he knows how to do. But I mean, at this point, if you're DK, you have to think, well, okay, we have to pressure that. We still have that tier 1 mid tower, which is almost full health. You should take that, because, I mean, it's easy to take when you have the lone druid pushing. You have to make something happen right now, because For.Love is taking the initiative, even when DK thinks that he has the initiative, and he goes for this aggressive war on top and get that tier 1. And they are just actually getting outsmarted, and For.Love was getting Roshan at the same time. And I will trade Roshan for a tier 1 tower every single day of the week.
Right, and, you know, it's something I feel like DK knew that eventually it was going to fall, and they just decided, we want to trade, we want to get some towers, but it cost them quite a bit. We'll have to see if this Aegis can be put to good use. But For.Love now, if you just look at their movement, because there's a Nyx Assassin and a Night Stalker afoot, and especially the Nyx, more than anything else, DK are limited where they can farm. Only Burning can safely enter a lane. Here comes the Nyx Assassin, and once again, DK aren't fully prepared for this. No gem. I don't see any sentries down here. RTK is going to be the target. He'll get focused. He'll get brought down. An easy peasy kill for them, and they're doing it while split pushing without their full lineup. Even when DK is trying to group jungle, they're still getting picked off. For.Love are looking very surgical right now.
Yep. Again, I mean, whatever that Nyx Assassin is, the Night Stalker appears just straight away. He had a haste, and I thought he was not going to get there in time, but there he appears and gets a free kill, because that Vendetta damage, I mean, it's just not still level 11. He? I think it's a he.
Hishi.
Hishi, yeah, it. It's not level 11 yet, but I mean, with the Void and the Impale and the Maneuver and the Vendetta, it's a lot of damage. And as long as the Night Stalker keeps getting those kills during the night, I mean, he is level 11. He's actually level 12, so he can prolong night quite a lot right now. And getting that night means getting control of the game.
Yeah, he's got the BKB up as we do see the gank coming towards top lane. It's in the stash though. Burning dropping low. Illuminate's gonna whiff. A nice entangle. He needs a little bit more though, I think. Roar that Nyx Assassin before he gets up the Spike Carapace. That's a huge kill. What a time to find that kill right before he could cast that Spike Carapace. And DK with the counter ganks. A crucial misplay. They're not using the Spike Carapace in time. Would have at least helped them to get out at least a few heroes safely. While this is happening though, it's on the bottom lane. 2-2 and Banana pushing. So they're giving up what looks to be 3 kills. It's definitely a bad engage for For.Love. but they're getting something at least. They are going to pressure this tower down. Necro 2 is up, Necro 3 coming soon. But that was exactly what DK needed, was just to bait For.Love into a mistake. We see the gold graph now dipping the other way. Good fight from DK.
Good fight from DK, but I mean, this tier 2 tower is going to cancel all that unless they can get one of the kills here. Not. Oh, yeah, they got the Nature's Prophet, but what are they going to do about it?
Seems like miscommunication. Not sure why he wasn't going in there. They know that 3 heroes just died. No reason not to at least hope for a lucky entangle, but Bernie just decides to farm, and Lone Druid able to get away.
Yeah.
News at 11, Bernie decides to farm.
Bernie decides to farm. Yeah, that was very shocking. That Necro 3 is almost up. I mean, he's going to wait in Fountain until he gets a Necro 3. I mean, people say, okay, Necro 3 gives you vision against invisible units, and there are no invisible units on the other side except for the Hog, and you don't want that for the Hog, but it also gives you so much pushing power. And you still have two tier 2 towers up. And as long as there's a team fight going anywhere, or a gank or anything, just Fusion will TP to the tower that's not being contested, and the tower will drop really fast. I think even as fast as the Lone Druid with the Radiance.
This Keeper of the Light pick is really paying dividends for them. Because they got those early kills, he got a lot of levels, he got the early mech, and he feels confident to sit in the mid lane by himself. If he was farther behind, if he was squishier, there's no way he'd be playing like this. They'd be able to push that tier 1 mid, but it still stands stubbornly. And then the attacks on the supports, they're just so poor right now. Die walking around with boots and an Urt and a wand. You compare that to the Nyx Assassin with the Vitality boost, Arcane boots, the Keep of the Light with the Mech Force Staff, or Staff of Wizardry. They're so far behind, and this Nyx Assassin is the #1 reason why. Just so hard to play against.
Yep, I mean, you have to be careful. People say that about Riki as well, but Nyx Assassin is crazy because Riki, I don't know, I mean, you feel that if you can survive that first cloud, you can run away and it'll be okay. He can chase with Blink Stray, but there are ways around him. But that Nyx Assassin, every time he goes Vendetta, stun, you're stunned forever, you get mana burn. If you try to do something about it, you get stunned by the Carapace. I don't know, it is a really good pick.
I wonder if DK do have this late game. They should with the 5-man. On paper, heroes versus heroes, they should. I'm just concerned about how far behind everyone except for Bernie is. Bernie's fat. But then, who's the next closest? It's the Leshrac, who's behind the Prophet, behind the TA that was getting crushed mid lane earlier. And Bernie is not going to win this 1v5. They've got a lot of utility spells. They now have the mech up on the Beastmaster. But For.Love have some ways to deal with Bernie. And if he's the only hero who's doing anything, you've got the silences, the silence, which is going to make the bear miss. You've got the blinding light from the Keep of the Light, which will also make him miss. And eventually the Prophet's going to have something else. You've also got a Desolator and Meld, so it will die fairly quickly despite the Assault Cuirass coming pretty soon. I think For.Love have to be very... Considering how the early game started, certainly they're in a good position right now.
Yep, and that Rubik is so easy to pick. I mean, he has almost 900 HP, but really nothing. An Urn without any charge at all because they're not getting any kills other than the ones that they got top. The Leshrac has a BKB, which is nice because that BKB renders Nyx Assassin pretty much useless, and the same with the Keeper of the Light. But you have 3 really good right-clickers, not the best of them, but TA with the Meld and Desolator. Nice Stalker right-clicking at you. It's kind of hard right now at the mid-game, which is where he shines. And then Nature's Prophet, which even though he doesn't have any kind of damage items, he has the Necro Book 3, and the Necro Book hit you even if you are BKB'd.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of extra DPS. Giving you those attack speed Rs and just hitting pretty hard to begin with. Sure, the mana burns aren't going to affect you, but it's still a nice item to have. Look at the protection from DK.
Oh.
And is this...
Are they going for these 3 guys?
This is not something they want to go into. And it looks like they... Again, notice DK, yes, they're protecting Burning. They're not farming. Meanwhile, Prophet pushing bottom. We have even Keeper of the Light's feeling like a boss. He's pushing top solo. And they still defend the tier 1 mid. Burning's getting big, but is it worth the trade-off?
I don't know. The ability to counter-push from Keeper of the Light is such that there's no other hero that can do the same. Even if you have Lone Druid, I mean, you need the creeps. Maybe not the tier 1 towers because there's no backdoor protection, but you need the creeps to push. And Keeper of the Light, in just 5 seconds, clears any creep wave, no matter how big it is. And this is very important. I mean, counter-pushing abilities have to do with the fact that you have to be able to deal with 1, 4, or a million creeps at the same time. Some of the skills do not do that. Like, I don't know, Zeus R Lightning just hit a limited amount of creeps. Even Nature's Prophet Ultimate just hit like 14 or something.
Right.
But things like of Pain's Scream of Pain or Keeper of the Light illuminate, they can kill any creep boy no matter how
And,
big he is in number.
And it's not just that, it's also, it zones the supports off the tower. You see how they can't really approach the creep wave properly. They can't quickly bring it down like they normally would be able to. Spike Carapace up from Hansi. Glyph is forced out. Do they look to contest this? Night Stalker lurking on the high ground, has the BKB, has the double damage rune as well. There has been a gem up for a while in the Beastmaster. Tower's in deny rage. Is it going to get denied? It will, and now DK. Sure, they deny the tower, but that is their second to last outer tower, and they are not as mobile as For.Love. This is what For.Love want, is the map control advantage. That's where they can find those openings. Top lane, the tower getting pushed in.
Going to get the tower with only the treads. I mean, they can zone everyone out. And I mean, you see that? They just last hit the tower because they couldn't even get close to it to defend. Such great positioning from For.Love. I mean, I'm becoming a fanboy right now.
Really, they're playing. I actually cast them when they first switched to Dota 2, and frankly, I was in the G1 League qualifiers, and frankly, they looked lost. They didn't really seem like they had a plan with their drafting. They were getting picked off a lot. But it shows you, it's the same story with all the other Chinese teams. When they first played Dota 2, it wasn't impressive to say the least, and in some cases, they were just getting rolled. But even just a month or two of dedicated practice, and all of a sudden, they're taking games off of DK. They're threatening to take a series off of them. It's a lot. It's a team to look out for, and this is only For.Love. This is one of sort of the lesser-known, less hyped teams in the G League, and it just makes you really excited for the rest of the group stages. It's truly the best Christmas present any Dota fan could hope for. Middle lane,
oh, yeah.
Tower under siege, taking a lot of damage. In comes the BKB Night Stalker, focusing on Super. They do melt down the TA, who went for the Deso, but now looks squishy. And the push from DK, they just hit that timing. They say, it's go time, baby. We've got a Roshan coming up soon. Prophet is pushing, threatening for high ground. Is it worth the trade? It looks like it might be. RTK is going to drop here. He'll get picked off. And now QQQ is in a lot of trouble. No Demonic Purge. The Night Stalker still flying, still hasted. That's one fast vampire. Super, out of mana. Mana leak. Where's the Void? It's on cooldown. Only the silence there. He does TP to safety. Can anyone else get away? It's MMY hoping to escape. Void is thrown. Immediately the TP flies, and they don't have a way to cancel it. Double TP, escape cheese from DK. They get the tier 2, but they give up some kills in exchange.
If you look at Burning's scoreboard, he's almost a secret agent right now. He's 006. I mean, yeah, he's amazing at 006, indeed. He's amazing at 265 CS, but it's just not happening there. I mean, yeah, you're level 17, you're the highest level hero in the game, you have lots of items. Where's the punch? I'm waiting for it yet.
The real problem is that most of the supports on DK are just a lot easier to kill, it seems, and you know, like the Rubik, look at him, boots and an urn. That's a pretty damn easy kill when there's a Nyx assassin at a TA with a Desolator afoot. And the TA, that's the one sort of concern. She desperately needs that BKB or that Manta. Looks like it will be the Manta style for her. Aegis claim, they give it to her again. I think this time they're going to be a lot more aggressive with this Aegis than they were before. In comes the Illuminate. Roar onto a BKB Night Stalker who has his ultimate, but the Bear going to work. The Impale will hit. Stolen by Dai. No, he stole the Spike Carapace. Now Super with no BKB. Getting pushed back in. What an Illuminate or Blinding Light by you. And they pick off the kill. The question is, can they get more? Can they get this next level of kills? It looks like they're actually going to DK. The Bear is surviving. The Aegis will fall. 4 step away from that Bear. Try to get out of here. For.Love on the retreat. Looking for an escape, looking for a bailout. In comes Banana with the 4 step of his own. They're not looking for a bailout anymore because Night Stalker is here. Night Stalker is pretty fearsome. He wants some blood. He wants to convert a few humans to his kind. Will he be able to, though? There's a hero Bear fighting, standing for the light is burning on Christmas Day. And now the Beastmaster to fall. Big, bad Burning, running everybody down by himself. Spike Carapace. Bear should fall soon. There's a resummon available. There's a haste rune that spawned bottom. I don't know if Burning can get out of here, but the Bear is almost bringing the Night Stalker down, chasing him for all he's worth. It's now daytime. He should fall. Look at the Bear micro right on top of him, basically inside of him, but Burning will pay with his own life. Bruno, who won that fight?
For.Love definitely did. And I'm amazed at the fact that you could actually cast all what was happening. I wasn't even understanding what was going on, and you were just straight where you had to be. That was an amazing fight, and For.Love took everything, did everything correctly. No one seemed to die. Everyone ran in really low health. Did they buy back at all?
I'm sure a few of them. I'm
yeah,
sure at least one of them did.
TA bought back, but that was just it. And they got Burning, so no longer a secret agent. But he got 2 kills there. At least they have-
MI6 fired Burning after that. But Burning is, he's getting a lot, but this is, I mean, I don't know that it was intended as a 4 Protect 1, but that's what it's evolved into over the course of this game. It was more of a dual core. They wanted the Leshrac to be that secondary carry, and they just haven't been able to do it because in the mid-game, the Night Stalker and the Nyx shut down entirely the Leshrac, and because of that, it's all about the Lone Druid, so they all sit behind him, they all get him farm, but then we see in these engagements, sure, Burning's getting a bunch of kills, but all the supports are just melting in front of him, and he's powerless to stop them. Night Stalker is a strong, or not Night Stalker, Lone Druid's a very, very strong card carry, but he's not going to offer you as much in a team fight as some of the other heroes that Burning plays, particularly, I think, heroes like Faceless Void, who can help protect their team with a really well-placed Chrono. Lone Druid really can't do that, and we're seeing really For.Love just exploit it. Plus, hey, they had the Aegis, and that definitely made a big difference in that fight.
Yeah, to be fair, that bear is defective. He's not entangling anyone, or at least anyone that matters. Also, I've been trying to pay attention. I was expecting the bear to get stunned when you spike Carapace on the Radiance, but it's actually the hero that gets stunned, not the bear. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, that's weird.
That is very odd. It reflects and negates damage dealt to Nyx Assassin to the source, but I guess they're saying that the two are linked. That is sort of the Lone Druid lore, so I suppose...
Yep.
Does lore triumph over logic here? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if you're on Druid, what do you go for now? He has his Radiance and his Hulk Cuirass. Do you go for more damage? I think that tank ability is not a problem. I mean, it's really, really hard to kill him, even now. But you have to do something that helps your team. What would you go for if you were a Lone Druid now?
All the items in the game? Can you get a butterfly and a heart? I don't. It's tough. He's gonna need a lot, and the one issue is we talked a lot about how For.Love are very single target heavy. Like they've got Nyx with his AoE stun, but then even all of his other abilities mostly single target. Night Stalker obviously single target, TA as well, but it's mainly Burning that they're worried about. So yes, it's a single target heavy light up. Normally those aren't as good late, but if there's only one hero that's truly a threat, can't you just focus him and win that way? I almost feel like it's not about Burning. I think it's much more about these supports. They've got to start getting, maybe some, I would say Ghost Scepters, but there's a lot of nuke damage. Force Staves, Yule Scepters, things that are just going to help you survive. Because if they can live long enough to use their defensive spells multiple times, Disruptions, Demonic Purges, things like that, then I think DK is in a good spot. I think it's almost out of Burning's hands. He could get a bunch of items, but 5-on-1, he's going to die. And right now the supports just aren't really living long enough to keep him alive.
Yep, and I mean... Here's the thing, last match, and we have another pause. I was saying, last match, when we were fighting, I mean, about 30 minutes into the game, you knew that For.Love had a clear advantage. Right now, I think that For.Love has an advantage, but I still think that DK can win this. I mean, we talked early game that they're not a very heavy late game team. Of course, Nature's Prophet is getting all that farm, but, I mean, this is a point where Night Stalker starts falling off a little bit. I mean, he can still pick off the support, but he can't go one-on-one solo against the Lone Druid, and probably in a few more minutes, he can't go against the Leshrac either. So, I don't know. I mean, there's still a chance, and even if you lose one team fight against DK, that bear can push towers really, really fast.
And you have Edict, and you have Inner Beast, so that is a good point.
Yep, look at that tower. It's just... Okay, it was about 10 attacks, and he hits... Has a base attack damage, 0.66 seconds per attack, so he hits almost twice per second. In 5 seconds, that tower was dead. If you die right now, you get about 60 seconds, maybe 70 seconds of having to think about what you did in the fountain. So in that time, he can get tier 3 tower and racks easily.
Let me ask you, what do you think about this TA's build? She's gone for like pure burst damage. I guess just trying to bring down the supports really quickly, or maybe the bear, but she's so squishy. This is the one thing that concerns me. She's got to finish something like a Manta or BKB, because in the small-scale engagement, she's going to murder people, but that's not what DK are offering you. They're offering you 5v5s, and she just can't do much in those right now.
Well, yeah, but you have to remember they still have that mech in Keeper of the Light. Do they have... Yeah, finally Beastmaster had that mech eventually, but... I mean... I like that, even if you kill TA, which is actually, with Refraction, it's kind of hard to kill, but yeah, you have lots of ways to do lots of damage small instances of damage, like the Edict, the Pulse Nova, you still have that Fury, which is now almost out-farming the Lone Druid, almost. And he's going for another, probably a Manta, to get rid of those entangles. And then you have the Night Stalker, which is still hitting kind of tough. I mean, he still has 5-10 more minutes of being strong. I think that TA is okay being greedy right now, and she can still she can think about getting that BKB later. And when she gets that BKB, it will be a 10-second BKB.
That's a good
when
point.
stand is 5 seconds, because it's now at 7. So.
RTK, a long way from home with the gem, with multiple heroes missing off the map. But we'll back up. He did have the Hawk there, but that's not going to help you if the smoke is underway. And For.Love, looking to group up in that bottom jungle. Banana TP's top. And he's going to go to work on this bear. Or maybe the bear's going to go to work on him. Pops the Necro 3. And now entangles the Necro 3. Now the bear sprouted up. Can't return. Taking a lot of damage. The Radiance Bird kills. This would be a pretty big kill, but I don't think he's going to burn it down. Here we go. Here's the backup. Needs to recall it. This is an important kill. I hope there's nothing else more important happening on the map. Doesn't look like it. Bear dropping low. Bear should fall. And that means if the bear dies again, if Burning dies, they don't have that bear for a long time. He's going to resummon it immediately. 120 seconds. 2 minutes. This might be an opening for them. Unfortunately, they don't have the Aegis, so looks like they may play it safe.
Yeah, they can slow roll this. At this point, it's okay. Lone Druid still is a better carry, but I mean, he's going for a Ghost Scepter, the Lone Druid.
I love it. You're up. This TA does a crap ton of damage, and it's a cheap, cost-effective item. You can't really turn it into anything. I guess ultra late game, you can get an Eagle Horn and then make a Butterfly, disassemble it, but just the Ghost Scepter, very cost-effective.
You said a cost-effective. When you're a carry, you don't go for cost-effective items. You go for the expensive items. You want to make an impact. If you're buying, I mean, I agree with you, but in the end, Ghost Scepter is kind of a support item. I mean, it gives lots of stuff for the money. It's kind of a deal, a bargain that you go when you go support.
Right, but
it's something to get more aggressive.
But he's not the carry. The bear is.
I guess so, yeah. But
although, like we saw, the bear can be focused down, so that's the other issue. Is at some point he's got to put those items on his hero, and then you're right. The Ghost Scepter isn't going to help him if he's got all these physical DPS items, but he's not auto attacking. DK grouped up bottom, feeling confident. BKB and Axe complete on Night Stalker with a gem. He sees all. This guy, he sees you when you're sleeping. He sees you when you're awake. This is Santa Claus, but he's got a nasty set of fangs to go with him.
Yep, he's definitely coming to town. And I don't know, Beastmaster is probably going... I would love to see an Axe Scepter in Beastmaster, if he could farm that. Because I feel that at the moment, TK has no way of initiating properly. You have that Roar, which is not that big, not huge range that you can get.
Yeah, no Ags up on him yet.
And Shadow Demon, I mean, yeah, he can still initiate with Disruption or Purge. I mean, but still, I feel like if Shadow Demon initiates, he just disappears.
Yeah. No, you're right. If he initiates, then they can counter. They can just kill whoever he's, because he's not going to have disruption defensively. He's got to use it defensively, which, I mean, goes to your point. Then they don't have the initiation. Aside from the Beastmaster, but even, hey, who do you focus if you're Beastmaster? You've got a BKB up on the Night Stalker. Eventually, you got to figure TA is going to have one, and then that's two heroes that both really need to be roared. Both of them fairly hard to bring down at that point. Another haste. Boy, this Night Stalker has been everywhere.
Yep. And Super is going for a Plate Mail. There's already a Cuirass in game, so he... Oh, a complete Shiva. That's interesting. I mean...
It's all about it's all about this TA's damage.
Exactly. I mean, that attack speed, it makes an impact, even if you don't realize it. The minus 25 or minus 30 attack speed is actually kind of a lot right now, especially on those not so fast attacking heroes like Night Stalker during the day, or even Nature's Prophet, which went for the Shipstick and not for the Manta. I like the choice. I like Nature's Prophet going for the Shipstick. So, and then again, even if they initiate of you, the Shiva makes everyone really hard to move around. I mean, TA, very mobile hero. Night Stalker, of course, really mobile hero. I think it's a nice choice, and it makes you tanky as well. It's all about Super surviving. You said that. Burning is okay. You need a support to survive. Well, Super is not exactly a support, but he needs to survive. And they get a cheese now.
Yeah, an Aegis and a cheese, and now... Oh, Keeper of the Light's got a Hex. That's a double Hex for this squad. What a beastly farm view that is. In goes the TA. One shot, one kill. Oh, man, What an amazing play there at MLG Pro if I've ever seen one. Now Super doing a lot of damage in the middle of this fight, but despite Carapace, Hansi should be able to get away forced after the low ground, and now Burning's isolated. It's that 5v1 that we talked about. They're not all here yet, but they should be soon. Super trying to TP away. No, he can't! That Nyx assassin, what did he do there? Like 500 damage with the Monoburn, and last but not least, it is Burning, surrounded and then brought down by 5. DK tried to even stand near the Roche pit, and you can see just how quickly For.Love closed the gap with their mobile lineup. I gotta say, I feel that's pretty questionable from DK. You knew the Roche was pretty much gone. Better to back off, turtle, and hope that For.Love make a mistake with that Aegis, but they try and force it. They get wiped, and there is a bear respawn when Burning comes back, but still, this might be Rax.
This will definitely be Rax right now.
No buyback on Burning.
No buyback on Burning. Leshrac, 25 seconds until he comes back. They're burning the glyph, but I mean, they're just delaying the inevitable right here. And I mean, I kind of understand DK. They had to take that fight. They felt that, well, I mean, if we're not taking this fight now, we're not getting any better right now. They're out farming us. They're getting farm on 3 heroes while we're just getting farm on 1 of those. They were just unfortunate that that Shadow Demon died straight away on that Rubik. And, well, look at that.
Tutu is finding these just instant solo kills. If DK aren't able to lock him down on the fights, he did go glass cannon build. He hits like a truck. And also going to bring this Rax down quickly with the minus armor. And I love how they're splitting up. Banana's going to be top lane, so you can't group up and have that big 5-man clash with the Leshrac doing tons of AoE. 2 lanes of Rax fall, and For.Love, a big Christmas present for them. They're now on the brink of 2-0ing DK and KOing them in the first day of G League Season 2 2012 action.
Yep, and DK doesn't want to give up right now. I mean, other teams, especially after all that happened the last 5 minutes, will say, okay, this is over, let's regroup, leak our wounds, next fight will be against one of the LGDs, and we'll try to think our strategy differently. But now, they're just going for it. I mean, they still know that if they get one good team fight, and the other team doesn't have any buyback, they can get that. But I mean, look at the buybacks now. I'm checking right now. It's like...
Bruno, I have to ask you, how many legs does it take to get past a 30,000 experience deficit? Because that's what they're sitting at right now.
Wow. Ouch.
And look
I hadn't looked at that.
And the gold graph's even worse in some ways. I mean, we've seen it. The double hexes are up. The Daedalus now complete on 2-2.
I will paraphrase the guys that were talking about DK. I think For.Love has a 95% chance of winning right now, and DK has 5%.
Well, we saw what happened to them when they got cocky and, you know, they voted for DK. 2 shots and a kill. For.Love doing work. And these double hexes, you know, it's these supports who, if they get isolated, just instantly fall. That is another power of Keep of the Light. And now it's a gank on the bear. Hex that bear up. Then focus the support. Super. BKB on BKB. But you ain't winning that man fight. Omble and Big Jonathan will get brought down. Bernie trying to run away. Bernie, can he TP out in time? Just barely. But Die looks to fall. If nobody has buyback, this is going to be game. And it looks like nobody has it. That's pretty much it, Bruno. For.Love gonna 2-0 KO DK on our opening day of G League action.
Wow, I mean,
who would have seen
everyone
this
loves
coming?
an underdog story. Yeah, I mean, what a better way to start a tournament like this, such a prestigious tournament. With an upset like this, I mean, people were even us. I mean, we have to be honest. We were talking before the cast, like, do you know anything about For.Love? Kind of, not sure. But I mean, we knew a lot about DK. I mean, I'm surprised, and I'm happily surprised because we want to see that. I mean, I don't really care who wins as long as the winner plays great Dota, and it's not about the loser throwing the game. And For.Love has been great. Like
you said, great Dota. That's really what they played. And what's really scary about this win is, Bruno, they won 2 completely different ways. This game, split push, spread the map, ganking style. Last game, much more of that group up and push, 5-man your opponents to death. Eventually, it did come to 5-man Dota, as it always does. But yeah, For.Love, they showed some versatility today. And you know, the one player that I think we've all started to see his power is Banana. He's sort of, you know, the most well-known player coming from Nirvana. Tried to play in the International 1 for them, where they didn't really accomplish much, but it is going to be For.Love taking this best out of 3. And the other big concern for DK, if we look at the groups, which we'll do as soon as we get the final scoreboard for you, my friend, as soon as we get the final scoreboard. There we go. This is probably the more stacked group. LGD China, LGD International, DK, and For.Love. They've got to play the two LGDs now, and it's not out of the question that DK could lose both of those matches.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of tough for them. This is a match they had to win, not because For.Love was a bad team, because definitely they aren't, but they were pretty much coming to this tournament the weaker team based on previous matches and previous statistics. So right now you're in a pickle. I mean, certainly I believe that DK can win against LGD and LGD International. I mean, it's not that either of those teams are an out to loss for them, but I mean, they have to do much, much better than this. And they can't just rely on Burning. Or if you're going to rely on Burning, give him an anti-mage because, I mean, it's his hero, right? So, Lone Druid didn't seem to work. Juggernaut, forget it. Especially in a 4-mana lineup.
And it didn't suit him at all. It didn't suit the game going for the early Battle Fury. But that game as well, I feel like that game came down to drafting. This game a little bit more to execution. And... well, it's going to be For.Love already starting off at a 1-0 start, and this gives them... remember, it's round robin, but only the top 3 teams advance. The bottom one gets knocked out. For.Love got to be feeling pretty good, and what a way for them to kick off the event. Any closing thoughts, Bruno? Anything you want to add or tack on or say about this match?
I just said everything. I mean, you said things about Banana and him playing great. But I have to also highlight not only the Nyx Assassin that was everywhere, but that Keeper of the Light holding every single tower. I think that was key. And because of his name, I want to say that. I mean, the key player of this match was you. Get it?
Oh, man, what a way to end the day with a pun. Ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up for today's G League broadcast. If we have highlights, if we have anything else, we'll bring it back. But for now, that's going to do it. We do have more matches coming your way tomorrow, though. The next live broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Ignore the timer. I haven't set it up yet. But we're going to start things off with a fistful of tangos. That'll continue at 19 SGT, which is... oh, I think my math might be wrong here. Yeah, it's 6 EST or 12 CET. So ignore the EST time. That's wrong. But it'll be the same time it was yesterday. We'll probably start a little bit later because the goal is to really schedule these so that the game ends right before G League begins so that people can go right from one into the next. But then it'll be the LGDs facing off. LGD China versus LGD International. So on the day after Christmas, some pretty good stuff coming your way. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this cast. Bruno, anything you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
Well, I mean, even if you didn't get a team for the Fantasy League, remember fantasy.dota-academy.com. You can start now. Probably lots of people that pick DK heroes will get negative points right now, so you still have an advantage even if you lost this first day. The team creation will be locked until we load the matches from today, but they will be unlocked in about 15 to 30 minutes, and then you can start playing there. I mean, stay tuned, play that game because it's really fun.
Well, we do have the highlights underway, so we'll leave those running, but that pretty much wraps it up for today's cast. You can see the early pickoffs, that mid lane did go well for DK. They got a couple of kills on the TA, but For.Love just did such a great job. It was like that moment around, I think, maybe the 10-minute mark, maybe it was 12 minutes in. Towards the end of that first night, when Nyx Assassin was 6, we saw that big fight happening near the secret shop. We're probably about to see it now. They lifted back in the Night Stalker. Remember, he had that early Vitality booster. I think Nyx is on the way. Yeah, you see him up and to the left on the minimap, and he comes. And this was the fight that really turned the game in For.Love's favor.
Yep.
And, well, we'll see him just kill some heroes off now. A very quiet and calm Bruno.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't slept tonight, you know?
You were... yeah. Yeah. There, you have an excuse for any blunders you may have made in casting. Not that Ice Frog has ever made a mistake, but... So, well, here came the overextension bottom a little bit. But even when they kill the Night Stalker with that early Vitality boost, I mean, look at how much it takes to kill them. And also the luckiest root of Burning's life. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But even when they killed him with that early Vitality booster, it just took too much. That's why going for those really, tanky items early on is so popular, and it worked really well this game.
Mm-hmm. And Hansi again. I mean, there's one thing we have to say about Hansi. In both games, he did the same. He TP'd to a tower where there were 4 enemy heroes. Remember that first game where he tried to defend that Windrunner after the Windrunner was dead, and then he died. And now he does the same for this top bottom tier 1 tower. It's like he does that once every game. It's like kind of I'm giving you an advantage.
It's
If you can deal with this, well, I mean, this is for you. The next one is on me.
it's the mulligan. He gives you one mulligan every game. One. I'll pull your team back into the game. We'll have to see if it becomes a trend. If it does, we can call it pulling a Hansi. But only 2 games, still a pretty small sample size, as you could agree. And this was just a really nice play by AK. Runs directly into the middle of 3 enemy supports. Normally, that's going to be trouble, but he knows the backup is there. He just needs to soak up damage, so TA and the rest of the cleanup crew can come in. And
Look behind. I mean, you can't see right now, but I mean, Furion at this moment is killing Beastmaster, and everyone's focusing on the other heroes, and Furion is killing Beastmaster. So now the camera will go back, and we see Beastmaster dying. So, oh, he died right there.
even the Chinese observers miss things, guys, although I see a lot of people who say, oh, Chinese observers better. But they also have dedicated observers, which definitely helps. Something I would love to do. That is something I've been so impressed about, is their production quality. The instant replays after the games, even just the stream quality has been great. And, shout out to Twitch TV for, as well as G League, for having a connection that works so we can bring this stuff to you guys. Of course, there's the main Chinese stream, and if you want to watch that, gamefy.cn, but there is one available on Twitch TV, which has worked pretty well so far. Night Stalker, taking a lot of damage, will fall down here. So, Bruno, I think as we're watching these highlights, worth previewing that next matchup, LGD International versus LGD China. What do you think about that? The last time these two teams faced, it went the distance, but in the end, it was LGD International who took it, having a one-game advantage from the winner's bracket.
Well, you have to take into account that LGD China played, I think, 9 matches that day, one after the other. I mean, people can say, well, it's endurance, you have to be ready for that, but it's not that they had a pause. They had to play the winners bracket finals, which they lost. So they went to the loser finals or something like that, the relegation or whatever it's called. They won, and they had to play against LGD International. So it was 9 matches. It's understandable for them to lose. And even then, they had they won, I think, 1 or 2 of their matches. I mean, it was pretty close. So I'm going to say, if it was any other team, I say, well, maybe they will not be prepared to LGD International because they don't play like Chinese play. They have different play styles. So maybe it's different from what you're used to, and LGD International has the advantage. But with LGD China in particular, they've been screaming against those guys lots of times. They probably share strategies. So they will not have the surprise factor against LGD China. So this time I'm going to give the edge to the Chinese guys.
Yeah, also they'll be a bit more well-rested, I think. So that's something else going in their favor. Fatigue is a factor, whether people deny it or not. Super, probably going to die in this fight. But so many awesome team fights on this first day. Like, there were definitely... I think it wasn't the most polished series that we're going to see in this tournament by any stretch, but it was exciting. It was definitely action-packed, and I'm hoping that, I always say this, but Asian Dota is not a passive farm fest nowadays. Sometimes the games develop like that, but, the natural instinct for most of these teams nowadays is to be aggressive, because being aggressive is what works, and that's why they do it.
Yep. I like the part with the toothpaste.
Yeah? You want more toothpaste?
Yeah, I want more toothpaste the next time.
I'll try to put together some instructional videos for you.
That's great.
If you've ever watched North American Star League, they have like this fierce fitness thing, which is just silliness. But we'll have LD teaches you how to be more efficient with various basic household tasks, like grabbing your toothpaste and just squeezing the life out of it for all it's worth.
Have you seen that toothpaste that has 3 different colors and it always comes so clean? I mean,
Crest.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, there are lots of brands that do that, but I mean, how do you do that? How do you make 3 colors come so tidily and pretty?
Why do they always they always do that with the Instagram? Well, something we'll get used to. But I think that's a good time to call it a cast. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. If there's anything else cool in the Chinese stream, I'll throw it back up. But otherwise, we're going to take some well-deserved rest. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are. Spend it with your family. Spend it with your friends. Enjoy it. Be safe. Be well. But come back here tomorrow in a little while from now. I think around 18 hours, something like that, maybe a bit less. When we'll be having Merlini versus Cinderin for, I'm forgetting the name. That's our tournament for a Fistful of Tangos, and then LGD China versus LGD International. LGD Fratricide, that'll be coming up as well afterwards. A best out of 3 there. But for now, that's going to wrap it up. Bruno, closing shout outs for yourself.
Hi to everyone that's helping me load the Dota Academy website. we're changing things soon, and we'll have everything automated. So we won't need people loading the matches anymore. We will have lots of new information. So stay tuned. Bear with us. I know we're a bit outdated at the moment, and we're not loading and having the latest things. But in a week or so, we'll have news, and it will be nice news.
Awesome. And if you guys want to hear more from Bruno, twitter.com/DA Fantasy League, Dota-Academy.com for the statistics side of the website, and then fantasy.dota-academy.com to play some G League Fantasy Dota. And you can still register, although you'll be a bit behind, so get on it. One day you can come back from, but a few more, it's going to be tougher. For now, that wraps it up. This is LD and Bruno. Wish you a very Merry Christmas, and signing off.
GG.